Hi Virgo, welcome back to my channel and welcome to those of you who are new here. My name is Jackie. I hope you guys are doing great today. Let's get right into your messages for the end of September 2020. I'm going to start with a Rebel Oracle card as a crowning. Guys, remember these are general messages. Take what resonates, throw out the rest, and at least check your rising sign. When I mention house placements, that's particularly speaking to Virgo risings, because a rising sign does drive our birth chart, right? Okay, so let's get right into this. What we have is a crowning energy. Thank you. Seeing the true you. Very nice. Okay, I mean, yeah, Virgo, listen, sometimes we believe what others tell us we are, right? As though the self we see reflected back to us through their eyes is truth. The accuracy of a reflection, though, depends on the clarity of that which is doing the reflecting. You know what I mean? Like, if the receiver, meaning you, forms any kind of opinion about what's being perceived, then what's reflected back to us will at best be distorted, right? So it's about, like, subjective perception. Somebody thinking something about us and trying to convince us that we're a certain way. It's not necessarily through malice. It's just the mechanics of a situation a lot of times. It's their belief system, right, against ours. And even the moon reflects the sun in varying degrees of fullness and clarity, right? So we can definitely learn something of the nature of the sun from the moon, but not as much as through direct perception, right, as we always say. So it seems like getting this comes with a special message for you, right? If you're getting very confused about who you are and your motives or your actions pertaining to a job, a relationship, some sort of family situation, you know, based on what others are saying or how they are responding to you, just step back and take a minute, right? Because in your quest to be a responsible person, which Virgo is very, very responsible, you might be unintentionally taking on the feelings of others, making their reflections of you more than they are actually in truth. And more often than not, those reflections are more about the state of them than the state of you, right? More about the reflector than the reflection, right? So let those perceptions go, right? And just really acknowledge yourself and get in touch with, you know, the real you and what it is. Really try to splice out what the people in your life are saying about you, have said about you. Now, the reason I'm saying this have said about you is because we do have Chiron's going to be in retrograde still until December. So Wounded Warrior, right? So it's about, we're going to be doing a lot of healing, all of us, until the middle of December, of past relationships. Who said what about us? When did they say it? And all of these things are going to be kind of very much on the forefront, right? And, you know, we're getting ready to go Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. You guys are going to have it in the third house. So Scorpio season is all about releasing and, like, acknowledging the bullshit in a situation. It really is. It's calling something out or understanding the BS in a situation, right? So for you guys, that third house, this could have to do with siblings, extended family, your neighborhood, what it is that you've been believing about a situation, right? Because it's Gemini. Gemini is the truth, right? What do you need to learn? Paying attention to communication and really and looking underneath the communication that's coming in, looking at all of these things. It's a lot more than that. I did a separate video on Mercury retrograde. You guys could check that out. But you are going to have that happening in your third house, right, as I mentioned. So, you know, at the same time, we have Mars retrograde in the 8th house, which has to do with how you show up with other. The 8th house is the modern ruler is Pluto. It's about transformation. So there's going to be a lot of transformation as far as your relationships. For example, this sort of illumination and this new truth is going to be exposed, and this fighter energy is going to be alive in you to really stand your ground when it comes to shared resources, when it comes to some sort of inheritance, some sort of payout, anything to do with the stock market, right? I mean, is even thrown in there, but it also has to do with intimacy, anything how you show up with other. That's the 8th house, and this is all about transformation. And Mars being retrograde in there, Mars always tries to shake up and change what's not working for us. And because it's going to be happening in Scorpio season with Mercury retrograde, this is where all the muck and stuff from the bottom of the barrel is going to be coming up to make us look at the reality of that situation, with that job, with that relationship, whatever's going on. You know, and at the same time, that stellium that's been going on with Pluto, Jupiter, and Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, that's all been happening in your fifth house. And the fifth house is all about falling in love, romance, creativity, children. You know, it has a lot to entrepreneurial efforts, anything like that. But Saturn's going to be going retrograde at this time. I mean, Saturn's going to be going direct at this time, which is going to really make this sort of breakthrough happen, right? Definitely a breakthrough happening, having to do with, you know, anything to do with romance, how you connect with your partner on a Monday through Sunday, as well as maybe some sort of entrepreneurial activity you've been trying to get going, some sort of expression of your creativity. So let's see what we have going on right now. We have right now you're in Five of Swords and the Queen of Cups energy. And we have Six of Wands and Queen of Swords. Your challenge is the King of Wands working with the Four of Cups, as well as the Knight of Swords working with the Empress energy. The near future, we have the Moon and the Devil, two major arcanas, as well as the Magician, wow, and the Page of Swords, okay. And then in the future, Ten of Cups, beautiful, Judgment, forgiveness, good, nice. Chariot, leaving the toxicity behind, going in a much better direction that you feel a lot more passionate about, or the passion being reinstated. So let's break it down a little more specifically. We have Five of Swords working with the Queen of Cups. So Five of Swords, swords are truth, right? So this is a Venus and Aquarius energy. Venus, it rules everything that we value, from love to money to our self-esteem. How do we feel? And Aquarius is about doing things differently. What is the future going to look like, right? Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. So it's about being in that headspace. Now, you could be dealing with a bullying kind of energy. Somebody could be bullying a situation, even by just being passive aggressive, however it could be. This could also indicate theft, somebody trying to steal from you, or because it's swords, somebody could be trying to steal from you as far as like mental goes, right? Because, so what does that mean? That means like deflection and gaslighting and trying to basically degrade, steal, whatever it is that you know to be your truth, and they're going to try to hijack it and make it theirs. So some of you may be dealing with that. Some of it's really like any sort of like abusive type of relationship. So it can be physically abusive, or it can be just emotional abuse. But there is this idea of there being this abusive situation, and really, it's begging the question, are things going to be any different moving into the future? Or is it always going to kind of be like this? And it's working with the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is having that conversation, right? The Queen of Cups is Gemini and Cancer. So again, Gemini being that communication, Cancer being that fourth house energy of stability, of home, of roots, of groundedness, of mother, right? Think of like in a healthy mother-child relationship, how does that child feel, right? So it's really being very kind of in touch with that, a very nurturing energy. So this could indicate, because there's this sort of bullying sensibility here. Now you could be your own Queen of Cups. You could be meeting a Queen of Cups, or Queen of Cups could be helping you out right now as a general energetic influence, where you're receiving this nurturing, right? This healing, this support. You might be involving yourself in something that is allowing you to heal from something. So whatever it is, like so if your finances were an issue, you really focus very much on your finances right now, in the attempt to create a new strong foundation for yourself, right, where you're feeling very self-sufficient and all of that goes with that. For others of you, you can be ending a very painful relationship, but you're working on healing through the help of others, just the general energetic influence, or you just kind of being in that space of healing. Or some of you may actually be meeting a Queen of Cups energy after having been hurt. Queen, king, doesn't matter. We're not talking gender. So this could be a man. Queen of Cups could be a man who's very nurturing, who's very healing, who's very supportive, right? After you're dealing with this bullying sensibility. So for some of you, you may be transitioning, right? Where you're in something unhealthy and you're meeting somebody who's very, very supportive. It's going to be something different for each of you. But then we have the Queen of Swords working with the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a great energy. It's about success, it's victory, it's recognition, it's good news coming in. Some sort of good news is coming in that's very truthful, right? I mean, this is, first of all, Queen of Swords is about being self-sufficient, right? But it's also about total honesty. total honesty. So the fact that we have this Six of Wands coming in, excuse me, get that, Wands being all about this success, this good news coming in, whatever it is, it's going to really speak to the honesty of a situation. So I do like that. Now this could certainly be, let's say you've been dealing with somebody that you've been having an issue with, and they could be calling you up to say, listen, it's time we have this conversation. I need to talk. I need to tell you the truth of what's really going on with me, you know, right? And then that conversation leading to the success. And that could certainly be somebody evolving into being this Queen of Cups energy. Your challenge is the Four of Cups and the King of Wands. So, okay, I mean, we get it. The Four of Cups energy is feeling kind of apathetic about a situation, right? Feeling very unfulfilled. At the same time, this could indicate a surprise gift coming in of some sort. Somebody maybe coming in to want to a surprise phone call, a surprise offering of something. Even though you're feeling rather apathetic about it, like kind of like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it anymore. Like I don't want to put any more of my energy into this thing. I just really, and I feel like this is a long time coming, Virgo, to be honest with you. I feel like there was a lengthy string of occurrences within a relationship, a lengthy string of occurrences within this career, even this family situation, where you're just like, you're at this point, it's not so much that you really don't care, because deeply you do, but on the surface, you're just like, look, if they can't do A, B, and C, I don't even want to deal, right? Four of Cups is a checklist card, because then I really don't care. If they can't do A, B, and C, I'm not interested in being involved in this. I'm just not. This job, this relationship, whatever. But underneath that, there's more emotion. Underneath that, it's because whatever's going on is poking at a very exposed nerve in you that is very uncomfortable, and it doesn't make you feel good, right? I mean, going back to the seeing the true you, right? Why is that being poked at? I'm really trying to get in touch with that. And then we have the King of Wands, which is great. This is a bold leader. This is being very courageous in a situation. This is being really charming. King of Wands is Cancer and Leo. So why I like this energy, it's like water and fire together. And normally you say, well, what does water usually do to fire, right? But the way I understand this is somebody who's very passionate, who's very motivating to move forward into the future. There's attraction here, there's desire here, and it could even have to do with a career where there's a strong desire, somebody who's really excited about the future, but something that could also, even though it's exciting, also give you the security that you're looking for. That's the Cancer energy, that groundedness, that rooted, established feeling. This could even be somebody coming in and saying, come on, let's move in together. Right? Because Cancer rules the fourth house of home. Let's buy a home together. This could literally be that. So you go from this Four of Cups energy. Now the Four of Cups, you might be feeling apathetic where you're like, listen, are we going to move in together or not? Are we going to buy that house or not? What are we doing? Like, you could be in this space, but this is the challenge here. So the challenge is just you being very apathetic because something is not going in a direction fast enough or in a deliberate enough way that's going to incite this strong foundation. So great energy, but this is your challenge. It's just good to be aware of that. And then we have the Empress, also is a challenge with the Knight of Swords. So the Empress energy is, in astrology, is connected to Venus. So, and Venus rules everything that we value, right? It's our self-value, our self-respect, our self-concept, love, also money, right? But it's about growth. Now, it's also about fertility and creation and pregnancy. So for those of you in that space of your life, you may be struggling either with getting pregnant or getting your partner to be on board with you to get pregnant or adopt or whatever it is that you want to create, wherever you want to go. Think of the many, many ways that we can advance our lives in the way of creation, where this is an issue for you right now. You might be feeling like you're in a job that you're not going to be able to grow in, that you're not going to be able to, because what is the mother of the tower, right? The mother is right? She conceives, and then she nurtures, she cultivates, she births the child, and then she does it again because she's perpetually pregnant, but doing this towards this constant evolution of expansion. So if you're in a job where you feel like that's just not even available to you, this is something that's challenging you right now. And then we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is very much like some sort of conflict that's going on. Somebody who is very sharp-tongued, fast-talking, somebody who can be quite manipulative. But whatever's happening here, and it's a challenge, it's going to incite a lifestyle change. And for many of you, that's the challenge. Where, for example, perhaps there's this kind of situation where you guys are having the conversation about having a child or making that investment or whatever it is, but it's going to end up creating a lifestyle change that maybe not everybody's on board with. It could be that. For others of you, this could have to do with knowing that you maybe need to leave a certain job right now, or you may need to transition into something new, but in the process, it's going to require a lifestyle change, and this can be a challenge for you. So these are your challenges that you're dealing with right now. Now, in the near future, we have the Devil and the Moon. So, I mean, these are two pretty powerful major arcanas to have in the near future. So the Devil, yes, it has to do with addiction and greed and envy and all of those, materialism and obsession, sexual lust, all of those things. But I like to say in a nutshell, it's about imbalance. It could simply be where is the imbalance happening in a way that ends up being an issue within this situation, within this relationship, within this job. Like for career, the Devil energy could have to do with like you're making X for working 1,000,000 hours a week. There's imbalance there. Or you're being asked, things are being expected of you that are just not in alignment with your job description, and you really don't feel like you should be doing it. So that would throw something off balance, right? In a relationship, this could be somebody maybe with anxiety and depression unchecked and untreated, where there's some sort of, somebody trying to this rivalrous energy could be going on within a relationship, or maybe one of you is doing most of the work over the other, whatever it is, whatever that imbalance is. But we have the Moon, which indicates unseen problems and voluntary changes, but at the same time, Virgo, trusting your intuition. Okay, so this could be issues, because the Moon rules everything underneath, right? We can't see it straight out of the gate. So there could be some sort of unseen problems on the horizon, which, naturally is always going to happen in life. You can't get too stuck on that. But at the same time, there are voluntary changes that are going to be going on because you're trusting your intuition. And this could be, for many of you, recognizing the imbalance in a situation and you trusting your intuition to make the changes that you need to make in your life. Now, for others of you, this could be recognizing the lack of balance here and trusting your intuition to make the changes with a person or with a situation, But I feel like you guys are going to have your spidey senses turned way, way up right now, and you're going to be feeling it. And you're going to be acting accordingly, and trust yourself. Because normally when I get the Moon energy, I'm always like, be careful of the story that you're telling yourself. Make sure you keep one foot grounded. I'm not getting that vibe right now with this. And then we have, okay, good. We have the Magician, and we have the Page of Swords. So Page of Swords, there could be some gossip going around, some prying eyes, somebody maybe stalking somebody on social media, anything like that. A little bit of an immature energy, right? Both of those things would be immature. But a page also always incites a new cycle, and swords are truth and conversation and communication, and it's the intellect. It's also new ideas, the presentation of new ideas to help solve a problem. And I like getting that with the Magician, because the Magician rules you guys, right? Well, Magician is Mercury, and Mercury rules you guys as well as Gemini, right? So what does that mean? The Magician energy is an alchemical card that really does combine, in my mind, the third house and the sixth house, which is about communication, learning something new. Third house has to do with our siblings, extended family, our neighborhood, but it also is about being the student and understanding that we're never finished learning. So they need to learn something new. They need to communicate healthily in a way that's going to end up improving the sixth house energy, which is our day-to-day, our mental health, physical health, and emotional health, as well as our day-to-day work environment and the people that we work with. I know it's a lot. The houses are a lot. But the Magician is the blending of those energies. Learning new communication methods, learning how to do something new, either you or somebody else, so that the day-to-day can be better, can be healthier, can be more established. Okay, so it being this blending of the energies and this inciting of these new ideas that are available to you. So I think those are really good. It's going to require work. It's going to require empathy and understanding and openness, but it's a nice energy. Now here, this is fabulous because the Judgment is about clarity, a final decision, a wake-up call to your life's purpose. And then we have it working with the Ten of Cups, which is about family, contentment, total love, and support. Now, for some of you having to do with your career, all of a sudden you could be like, you know what, I haven't been liking what I'm doing, but now I see it in a different way. Or I haven't been liking what I'm doing, and now I'm finally waking up to the fact that I need to leave this. I can't do this for another month. I need to really get going on what it is that this next stage of my life needs to be regarding my work. Or realizing that you just cannot, you need to love a family member from a distance. See, the Judgment is about making the decision to forgive and knowing that everyone did the best that they knew how within the situation at the moment, at the time. But that doesn't mean that if it was an unhealthy situation, it should be perpetuated. You need to make that decision as well. And it's waking up to what that means to bring yourself this Ten of Cups. Now, Ten of Cups, even though cups are emotions, it makes sense in relationships, it's family, contentment, total love and support and all of that. This is also relevant for the workspace. Ten of Cups is about finally being in that job, in that career that speaks to you on a soul level, where you feel like you're in your metaphorical home space with that, right? And you feel like it's exactly where you're meant to be going. So really good. And then we have the Queen of Wands. These candles are too fat for up there. And then we have the Chariot, Queen of Wands. So the Chariot's all about, leaving the toxicity behind, right? Action and change, right? Like literally bringing yourself from one situation to another and leaving the toxicity behind. But at the same time, being very self-assured, being very confident in the Queen of Wands energy. Now, some of you may be meeting this person, right? You may be meeting somebody new that's going to actually, bring you on this new path where you're leaving your toxicity behind and you're getting on the Chariot with them. Because the Queen, any of the Queen, the Knight, the King, any of the court cards, it can be your energy, another person's energy, or a general energetic influence. You have to understand that. That's why I give a bunch of different interpretations. But the general energetic influence here, and apply it however you see fit, is you definitely leaving something toxic behind, an old way of thinking. Whether it's an old way of thinking that you had, leaving something toxic behind as far as relationship, job, whatever it is. The toxicity is being left. You are leaving that behind. And again, you're having this breakthrough in the 5th house. So you're really getting back in touch with you. Because the 5th house is very much a me energy, right? A me versus we, but it's very much a me energy. And at the same time, we have Mars retrograde in that 8th house, which is a we energy. And these guys are squaring each other. So there's tension here between these two houses having to do with relationship and having to do with, even business, right? Even being in business. So I do like it from that perspective for you, because I feel like there's going to be, you can't not acknowledge what you are feeling about a situation or about a person anymore. You just can't do it. It's not going to work for you. Because you don't want to. Not because anything spooky is going to come in externally and do it. You're not going to feel the gumption. You're going to feel a shift in you. Let's pull some Lenormand. Yeah, an ending. Yeah. Ending. And we have the Moon. Moon is the emotions. It's going to be very emotional for you. But you're honoring your emotions, see, because the Moon gets its life from the Sun. So something is going to become illuminated to you that's going to make you realize that something needs to end the way it was, that it can't continue. And then we have the Patient Man. So somebody's sitting very patiently waiting. The need to look at something much closer. The magnifying glass, will come back to that. Look at this. We have the other man too. We have I call him Sexy Man. This is the Mars man, right? He has the sign of Mars around his neck. So needing to look at, okay, and then we have Park, which has to do with networking. Okay, somebody that you cannot trust. Ooh, this is a deep one. Oh, look at this. We got the Woman. All right, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay, so something needs to end, some sort of illumination, but I feel like there is somebody who's very patiently waiting with this rose, looking at the need to transform something, the need to end something, the need to acknowledge emotion. So this can be, for female Virgos, you dealing with an energy that is really recognizing that change is necessary in order to make something happen. But see, I just want to, before we even go any further there, we have the magnifying glass, which indicates that you need to look at something more closely. And then we have this energy here. Now, this guy has to do with somebody who's very assertive. This is a Mars energy ruled by Aries. It's Aries is ruled by Mars. This is that first house energy of a fresh path, a new perspective, very fiery. Let's go. We'll talk about the details later. Hurry up. Let's go. Let's just do this. But there's a lot of attraction here. There's a lot of energy. And I feel like this person, there's two people here, if you're resonating with this, this has to do with social media. This has to do with networking for work, through work, networking through friends, with friends, any sort of social media, anything like that where you're meeting somebody. But this person, listen, we have the snake, which is all about really having false pretenses, not being very honest and knowing it, empty promises, being very deceitful, promising things and there being very little follow through. And then we have Venus here. Let me look at Mars and Venus so it's like meeting somebody via social media and they end up not being exactly who they thought they were, but you're very excited by the idea of them. And here you are, though, or female Virgo or male Virgo. This could be the female that you're dealing with or a prominent female in your life. I'm just talking about relationship right now. I'm gonna attach it to job in a second. But this is about focusing on the future. She's holding on to that Venus emblem around her neck, recognizing, really asking, do I feel valued in this? Do I like how I feel? Do I feel like I'm respecting myself staying in this? Is it bringing me the money that I want? If it has to do with job, obviously. So now, for some of you, this could be recognizing that something needs to end. Male Virgo, this could be you. Female Virgo, this could be your partner or a male in your life. Obviously, it's a prominent male in the Virgo's life where there is this idea. It doesn't have to be a significant other either. It could be somebody who you work with, a family member, but somebody who is recognizing that something came to light and something needed to end as it was. Something needed to end. Now, if it's being transformed, that same energy, you need to look at that person's agenda very carefully because they may be communicating some less than honest energy to you and pushing you into a space of now just focusing on the future. For others of you, this is somebody realizing the reality of a situation and them realizing how passionately they feel for you. Right? And that they really want to take your relationship like more public, but it might be a situation, Virgo, where it's kind of too late for you and you're sort of half checked out already. For others of you, if it has to do with a job, the realization that something is just not going to go its way, realizing that you need to be very diligent and patient in the rebuilding of something. Make sure that you look at the fine print of everything. Be very excited about it. Do your networking, but be prepared that some people are probably not going to be very open and honest about something to you right now. So you need to stay focused on the future by, understanding that over your right shoulder is this deceitful energy. So just be mindful of that and focus on the future. So that's going to resonate for different Virgos differently. There's a lot of messages in that one for sure. Okay, and let's pull a couple of final messages and some astro cards and astro dice. Let's pull the last four for our Virgo brother and sisters. What do they need to understand? What do they need to understand? This one really wanted to pop up, the Empress. Okay, very good. Three of Wands. New path, taking a new path. Eight of Wands, strong foundation. Beautiful. Two of Pentacles, needing to make a decision. Having options. Having options here. Okay, I didn't like that roll at all. Okay. Okay, 5th house. Okay, good. Yeah, with the 5th house. I mean, we have, this is exactly where the breakthroughs are going to be happening. Yeah, because Saturn is going to be going direct. We have Saturn, 5th house. We have Capricorn. Capricorn, again, is about the public reputation, the work that you're doing. So definitely, I feel like there's some sort of, I feel like there's some sort of lesson being learned here, having to do with romance, love, creativity, some sort of effort, having to do with trying to push yourself forward in your career. It's going to be very highlighted for you right now. But I like this because I'm getting very much a world vibe here, and that's what the world energy does mean. And we have the Empress, again, a Venus energy. It's all about progressing forward, moving yourself forward. For some of you, you're going to find out you're pregnant, you're going to be adopting, you're going to be starting a business, you're going to be buying a new home. There's something that's going to be moving you forward in your life, where it's going to be growing you, right? Yeah, and having that with the 3 of Wands, this is great. That's a Sun in Aries energy. That's about really teamwork, right? Expansion. There's a lot of expansion energy here. 8 of Wands, my favorite minor arcana. I mean, this is just such a great energy because it's speed, it's action, it's quick changes, news coming in. And it's going to incite fast, almost frenetic kind of change, but it's at the end of the day, it incites a strong foundation. So you getting the job offer, you being able to push forward on that project, you hearing from that person you haven't heard from, you finding out that you got the house, you finding out whatever it is, right? This positive news that you've been waiting on is going to come in. But at the same time, you're going to end up having 2 choices. You're going to be in a space of needing to multitask for a minute, but you're going to be weighing many options, which is better than not having any options, right? So yeah, I see a lot of activity happening for you. Capricorn, check it out. Can you kid me? Look, we have Saturn, we have Saturn rules Capricorn. We got Capricorn, we have Capricorn here. It's about being the boss, right? Being realistic, ambitious, structured, traditional, wise, accomplished, being a badass, being competent, making yourself prepared for something here. Really, really nice. That's great. Obviously, that's fabulous for those of you in the space of work. So I feel really good about where you guys are going as far as work goes. I can tell you that. But even as far as relationship goes, it just seems like you're going to be on the other side of something that maybe you haven't felt like you were maybe being, like, I hate to say this, being treated fairly. That sounds like such a whiner comment, but solar eclipse, the revolution. Yes, this is absolutely, I mean, I like this energy for you for sure. Absolutely. Very much a solar eclipse energy, because there's a lot of transformation coming here. And there's an idea of revolt here where it's like, no, it's not going to be like that anymore. I'm not going to let you see me like that anymore in a way that you're trying to push it on me. If you want to see me like that in your own mind, and don't share your thoughts with me, because I feel very, very clear and confident in who I am, Virgo, right? Okay, so that's the energy that we have for you. I hope this was helpful for you guys in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.